Alrighty, are we ready to go, Nathan? Time is 7 o'clock, so I will call the February 18th, 2026 meeting of the Whitley County Planning Commission to order. I would ask that everybody stands and faces a flag so we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call vote, please, Brent?
Yes, Mr. President. Travis Baker.
Here.
Stacy Petrovas.
Here.
Dane Drew.
Here.
Brent Emmerich.
Here.
Jack Green. Tim Longaball.
Here.
Mark Johnson.
Here.
Kim Kurtzessler.
Here.
Joe Wolf.
Here.
And John Woodmansey.
Here. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the previous meeting minutes.
I emailed all those out, but I don't think I have a hard copy.
I did not see one.
Okay, so I will, they're finished. Is it okay if you move those towards the end of the meeting? And I can run up here in a little bit and get them and bring them back down for you to review.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. So we'll table that for right now. Next item on the agenda is the oath to witnesses. Anybody that plans to speak tonight, we do ask that you take an oath. So I will turn over that process to our attorney.
If you plan on speaking tonight, if you would please stand and raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make before the board tonight will be the truth? If so, state I do.
I do.
You can be seated.
Thank you. Not seeing any old business, we will move right into new business. First item is 26W Subdivision 1. It's Love's Travel Shops and Country Stores Incorporated. It's a one-lot subdivision called RoseRock Subdivision, and that's at East Business 30. I'll turn the floor over to Nathan for a staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So going to slides here. As you said, 26W SUVB1 is a primary plat for a one-lot subdivision to be called RoseRock Subdivision, located on East Business 30 at the southwest corner of Business 30, 300 East, and US 30. What is being proposed is to combine the current parcels into one new commercial building site. GIS and the tax records show that there are two tax parcels. When we're investigating, there may have actually been more or less. The past history of this site was chopped up several different ways over time. Ultimately, because it does need to be platted, this will clean all of those different pieces up. So just to give you some sense as to the history and part of the reason that we do platting. Additionally, it will dedicate right-of-way, relatively large amount of right-of-way that you'll see on the written staff report and on the table at the bottom, almost 0.8 of an acre, all of which is located along Business 30. Platting is, as I mentioned, due to previous splits from the 1979 parcel, and this is zoned industrial park manufacturing, so no rezoning is required. The total area is 7.227. When you net out the dedicated right-of-way, it gives you a remainder, which would comprise of Lot 1 of 6.14 acres. Lot width and frontage meet the minimum requirements. The proposed use is a truck stop, which is allowed in IPM and no other zoning districts. So going to reference materials, highlighted in yellow is the subject site, and as I mentioned, this is comprised currently of two tax parcels. Pages Crossing is to the west, over here. City Ford Chevy is to the southeast. Lincoln Point Subdivision is to the northeast. The racetrack gas station, and it's important to note that that is a gas station, not a truck stop. That side of the highway is zoned general commercial as opposed to industrial on the south side. But anyway, that is to be located here. They are progressing forward with their plans. They have a little bit of an infrastructure snag that they've been working through over the past months, as well as just being on a relatively slow time frame. Back to the subject site, a little closer view for additional reference. Proposed plat. As I said, this is one lot. Dedicated right-of-way along the north half of Business 30. This is worth noting over here. It's an ingress-egress easement, which was implemented at some point in the past. That is used by Pages already for their driveway. I have to believe that the purpose was intended to allow for this lot to be accessed off of that. Not being a county required item, I have no real way to say that we could require them to use that ingress and egress, and the petitioner has indicated that they have other alternate driveway locations. Not exactly related to the plat, but that easement is something that is on the plat and is important. One thing that is notably deficient per the code requires a 10-foot drainage and utility easement to be basically window painting any lot. However, the code does allow for alternate easements to be allowed. We see this in residential subdivisions, for example. Not every residential lot has 10 foot of easement around it. You place those easements where it's appropriate, not have easements where it's not. So when I get to the conditions, that's one of the conditions, either to put the standard 10-foot easement all the way around or work with utilities and others to implement easements that are appropriate. REMC indicated that they have desire of such an easement. I guess finally US 30 up here, and then the intersection. This notch is part of that of the state's right of way for the intersection. Overlaid on top of the aerial, the GIS map doesn't line up with the surveyed map for, as I mentioned, for various reasons, which this plat would help correct. But you can see how this plat shapes up. This line more or less comes down the middle of the existing Pages driveway and so on. Going to the review criteria, most of the comments that we did receive from the reviewing agencies were pretty standard comments. Did note a few changes that need to be made to the signature blocks and text. The subdivision name needs to be added to the plat document. Those are things that can be easily accomplished as part of the final record plat, secondary plat. I already mentioned the need for either a standard 10-foot drainage and utility easement along the perimeter or easements as appropriate. Being a minor plat, recommend delegation of final plat, secondary plat approval to staff as we normally do. Any questions for me?
I think it'll come up here, so you might as well address it, but what are your thoughts on the proposed changes on US 30 as far as limiting access in the future at that intersection? Do you have any insight?
So basically a summary of what's being talked about at NDOT. Yeah. Not my opinion. So just making sure. So the current plan, the Propel 30 study report, gave a palette of options for this intersection. Interchange is one of them. They did not consider what the grassroots committee looked at, which was to implement, to construct a new interchange east of 300, so like a theoretical $350 or so. That wasn't on the table for NDOT. So their plans for an interchange here involve very long off ramps and so on going all over. Very complicated. They also have the idea of they had a couple other scenarios as well. Median U-turn, I think, was their. They didn't provide preferred alternatives in the final version, but I think median U-turn was probably what they were leaning towards, if I'm reading between the lines. Similar to what's at 500 East. Timeline, we're looking at probably no less than 10 years out, probably more likely 15, unless there's a magic influx of cash to create improvements along US 30. So right now, currently under construction is work in Allen County, then another set of intersections between Allen and Whitley counties up to 600 East, and then 500, 400, 300 would be the next one after that. So again, about 15 years, give or take.
Thank you. Any other questions for Nathan? Thank you, Nathan. At this time, I will make the podium available to the representative of this petition, or obviously the petitioner themselves. I would ask that anybody who speaks before this commission tonight, please state your name and address before you begin speaking, and then you can go right ahead.
Okay. My name is Steve Walters. I live in Chandler, Oklahoma. I'm the real estate project manager for Loves for this project. As staff mentioned, we're here tonight to ask for a replat of the property. Again, just kind of reiterating some of the stuff he mentioned, it's already zoned for our use. We're not asking for anything special other than just make it take two plats and make it one plat to clean up things from a legal perspective. So I can answer any other questions you may have, any concerns. I can hear that's what I'm here for, is to answer anything you might want to ask.
And your client is aware of Propel 30 and the plans?
Yeah, we've talked to DOT as well. Similar information on what Nathan has found out. Again, we deal with that stuff all the time across the United States, and it's obviously a risk we're taking, but it's something.
When you go to build one of these, how many acres do you normally look to acquire, or do you need? It seems maybe this is kind of a small area for a full-fledged truck stop.
And you're correct, it is for a full-fledged truck stop. But one thing we started doing across the United States about 10 years ago is finding locations on state highways such as 30 and building smaller scale truck stops. To answer your question about how small, we have one in Elk Grove, Illinois, that's on about 3.5 acres. And it serves the trucks coming in and out of O'Hare. I have one in Oklahoma that's on 4 acres. And so this 6, 7, 8 kind of acre range is perfect for the small concept. We'll offer the same services to the drivers and to the public that we offer in our big stores. What you'll see, instead of a large, 10,000 square foot building, you'll see a smaller building. Instead of having 5 or 6 showers, we may have 2. Instead of having 8 or 9 diesel bays, I think this store has 5, I think. So it's just scaled down. One thing we took out of this site to make things flow a little better and make things a little safer for everybody is we had some RV parking here that we put at some of our locations now. So we took that out. So just to scale it back is what the purpose is.
Will you have overnight parking available there? There will still be some there.
Yes, there'll still be overnight parking there, yes.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Doesn't look like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
This time I will open the podium up to the public. Anyone who wants to speak for or against this petition may do so. And just a reminder, please state your name and address before you begin.
My name is Cindy Strack, and I reside at 3125 East Butler Court. And they proposed I park a truck stop on US 30 in the Allen-Whitley County line that NDOT shut down because of the limited access, because of all the wrecks that happened on that corner. I don't have a problem with Love's. I have a problem with that intersection. I've just moved my husband and I to a new over $300,000 house in a nice neighborhood with great neighbors. And I'm still going to end up with the mess in my side yard. How are we supposed to get to town? The same problem with this corner is the same problem with our old corner. Nobody knows what NDOT's going to do. Nobody can make any decisions. And at 72 years old, I can't move again. There's just no way I can do it. So I don't have anything against Love's, but we need to figure out what NDOT's going to do at that intersection, plus another gas station across the street, because the second section at Lincoln Point hasn't even been developed yet. And the county's talking about doing something down on 300 and 100 for the new factory that's building up, and then the steel plant that buys steel from Steel Dynamics. Let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's find out what everything is before we go and rezone anything. And that's all I ask. I want to be able to stay where I'm at and be as happy as I am today. And I want all of you to think really hard on it, on what you're going to do. Not only to those kids that get on a bus with all that extra traffic, NDOT needs to wake up and figure out what they're going to do instead of stringing it down. If they've been working on this for 10 years, they should have a better idea now, instead of just saying it's going to be another 15 years down the road, because they're not doing Columbia City as a town any favors. And that's all I have to say.
Good evening. My name is Linda Schambarker Maury. I live at 1267 South Sherman Street in Lincoln Point Subdivision. And I thank you for allowing me to voice my concerns and ask any questions regarding Love's and the truck stop being built at the southwest corner as depicted there. My first concern, and my major concern, is the traffic congestion. We've already seen the congested traffic with accidents happening repeatedly. In fact, yesterday there was an accident at that intersection at 3:30 p.m. A pickup truck and a car collided. And so that required the attention of local police, state police, ambulance, fire departments. They were all there because I came upon the accident just by accident. You know, I have witnessed numerous vehicles, to include semi-trucks, running this intersection despite the red light. And even though I have a green light when I approach that intersection, I don't cross it until I see traffic actually stops, because I've seen too many people run that light. It seems to me that accidents happen, in my opinion, on a monthly basis at this intersection. And then now, since we already got that racetrack gas station approved there, it's only going to add confusion. I know that racetrack was approved back in December 2024 by this board and the county commissioners. And I feel that adding another gas station will only add to the confusion and the difficulty traveling in that intersection. And the trouble is they don't have you have like a stoplight, but you also have a stop sign. You got 3 places coming in and out of that place. I have concerns about Love's being constructed at this intersection, and I question how semis are going to maneuver at that intersection, because it's a tight turn and access to the area. I mean, I frequent Love's gas station when I travel, but I just feel it's inappropriate at this intersection for the location. Love's is being, of course, built near the home subdivision. And with a proposed truck stop, I'm concerned about unwelcome people. Let's face it, truck stops don't have the greatest reputation. You know, you sometimes, and I'm not saying this with Love's, but unfortunately truck stops attract drug dealers, drug users, as well as prostitutes. And if this does follow through, I hope that police as well as Loves will patrol the area to make sure that we don't have that kind of headache. I question if Love is, like it's brought up, I question if Love's aware of the proposal at the intersection. My understanding is they were going to close that intersection. And they were still debating about whether to have a J drive or what they were going to do. But as far as I know, they were going to close that intersection altogether. With a residential area nearby, I'm also concerned about possible gas spills and leaks. I mean, you're going to have, if this goes through, you're going to have Loves as well as you're going to have the racetrack. And I don't know about Indiana, and forgive me if I'm ignorant, but I fear that maybe after a while, once US 30 becomes what they're calling it is, that maybe these two gas stations will be abandoned, and you got gas tanks and everything else there that could be neglected and would create environmental hazards, which we don't need in the residential area. I'm asking this board not to allow the requested variance to be granted. I feel that the location is inappropriate. It will further create traffic hazards, and it will be inappropriate for the safety and well-being of the residents who live there. If this variance is granted and the county commissioners go ahead and proceed it, I do ask that both those agencies maybe approach the state and ask and encourage a traffic study to be done at that intersection prior to whenever US 30, revamping becomes a reality, so that we can reduce the traffic congestion as well as improve traffic safety. And then for those who are here, I don't know if you're aware, there's going to be another hearing on, my understanding, February 24 regarding Love's hearing regarding another request that they're going to be doing. So I want to make everybody aware of that. So thank you for your time.
Anyone else for or against this petition? Not seeing.
Can I answer some of the questions?
Yes.
So a couple of things I want to make very clear is we aren't asking for any kind of variance. All we're asking is for is the plat to go from 2 parcels to 1 parcel. That's it. It's not a variance. The other things that were brought up about gas spills, I understand. We're concerned about gas spills too. We're in a highly regulated business. That's why all of our fuel tanks below ground are double walled. Our fuel lines are double walled. We're required for testing, all that stuff. The other thing that I would say is right now, if a diesel truck has an issue, there's nowhere for them to go. They're going to pull over on the side of the road and leak fuel all over the place and get in the drainage ditches that are there. If they have a place to go and they're having an issue like Love's, we have trained personnel on, we're open 24 hours. There's somebody working a shift every hour we're open that is trained in hazmat issues, gas spills, how to put out the booms, that kind of stuff. So that's something to think about as well. Just curious, you called any of the towns we're in and got crime stats at any of our stores?
No, I do not.
So it's just some assumptions?
I just said my assumption, my
Okay.
comment, my personal comment.
Well, I would encourage you to do that because I could give you guys a list of towns anywhere you want to get crime stats. Most recently, I've done that in Bridgeport, Michigan. Bridgeport, Michigan is in a county. I did it because I was working on a project in northern Michigan. Bridgeport, Michigan is in a county that's the highest crime stat county in the state of Michigan, even including Detroit. So it's kind of surprised me when I found that. I was not expecting that. We've had over the last, since I think 2020, since 2023, 2022, somewhere in there, I think we've had 8 calls to our site. None of them have included prostitution or drugs specifically. I'm not saying that there wasn't a prostitute there. We had her trespassed or him trespassed. I guess it could be a male prostitute because there were 2 trespassing calls. So I don't know what those included, but there's nothing showing up for drugs or any of those things. And to your point about having a traffic study done, before we get our permits, approvals, and before Racetrack gets their approvals, we have to do traffic studies. And we've already done our traffic study. We're already working with NDOT. Racetrack is working with NDOT. The 3 entities are working together to figure out what we have to do at that intersection for improvements. We're also doing some improvements on Business 30 to help the congestion there, putting in turn lanes to help vehicles in and out of our site a little bit better. Just one thing to note there is that it's not just because Love's may come and just because Racetrack may come. If we do come, the intersection isn't going to stay the same. It's going to get better in one way or another because they won't give us our permits if we don't. NDOT didn't shut us down on that other site. That was our choice. We got the site under contract. We started talking to NDOT like we always do in the very beginning to find out what it's going to take to open a store. We find out that they have future plans of shutting down that four-way or that signalized intersection right there. They told us up front, we don't know when it's going to happen, but it will for sure happen, pretty quickly. And at that point, we decided to walk away because obviously it doesn't make any sense. So just want to make it clear that it maybe wasn't your intent, but it came across as NDOT shut us down because we were unsafe and didn't want us at that intersection. That's not what happened.
No, that was me.
What's that? That was what?
That was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't remember.
Because we approached NDOT requesting them for a right-in, right-out, and when Monica contacted Love's or you or whoever, you said that you weren't interested if you weren't getting the whole flow of the 27,000 vehicles to go through that intersection.
Right, because we have to have traffic going both ways. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm concerned here is what all will they have to do at that intersection? And how's it gonna impact us at our new house when we couldn't sell it to you?
Right.
And we took a beating on what we actually sold it for. I don't wanna feel like I have to move it again at 72 years old.
Right. No, I understand where
And
you're coming
we
from.
don't have anything against Love's.
Right.
It's probably the cleanest truck stop that I've ever stopped at. It's just that intersection that nobody can commit to what it's gonna be. And 15 years down the road, they can change their mind again. If they haven't decided, Steve, yet, in 10 years, what they're gonna do at that intersection, why is it gonna take them another 15 years to figure it out? And in the meantime, they're going clear across 100, which is the back of the new addition, the new housing unit that we bought, and building brand new houses, and all anybody wants to do is be able to go to town.
Right.
Okay.
There's just as many
Okay.
directions.
I'd like to keep the comments to the person at the podium, please. You'll have a chance to for anyone to come back up when he's done. But
And
why don't you
to
wrap
follow
up?
up on what she was saying, I mean, she's correct. There is issues there, but that's why we go through the process, and Racetrack goes through the process, and NDOT goes through the process of giving us permits and making us do the traffic studies and truck counts and car counts at all different kinds of day. And quite frankly, we won't get permits to open if NDOT doesn't think it's the right thing to do. Like I said, there'll be a lot of improvements there that be made, and what those look like, I don't know for sure yet because we're still working through that process, trying to get the north side and the south side of the roads to work well together and flow. So that's what we're working on now. Yes, ma'am. Let's see. I think that's
Can I ask another question since you're up at the podium?
that's up to you're the leader of the.
No.
I'll be glad to answer
I will.
the question for you.
Once he sits down, the podium will be open for public comment again.
Okay. All right, that's all. Unless you guys have any more questions, I'm sorry.
I don't hear any. So
Well, I just have a question. I don't know if it's directed to him or not. And I'm just speculating because I know you have this, and I know that a lot of your Love's stations are bigger. I don't know, Page's Crossing has been there for some time, and I don't know if the owner is interested in retiring or not, and I don't know if he can sell that property. If Love's were to build there, would Love's be able to expand, if he were to retire and, do away with Page's Crossing, and therefore Love's could expand to that whole area, So I don't know.
Join you at the podium?
Yeah, well, that's something
No,
that
no,
came
that's-
into my mind.
No, that's about a thought. That's about a thought. Hypothetically, if that ever did happen, we would have to go through the same process with DOT and show that we're going to increase our traffic. We're going to increase the amount of customers we have. We're going to increase the size of the building, all that good stuff. And they would have to give us approvals again.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Any other comments for or against this petition from the public? I will close public comment and turn the floor over to the planning commission.
I do have a couple comments on it. I've followed the Propel 30 project since 2016 when the initial call came out and that. And up to this last time when they did put out their things, which Nathan said, you know, they had several options and that.
Which,
And,
for what it's worth, I'll put that up on the screen while
okay.
we discuss.
And their whole thing is to make it free flow traffic. Now, down on US 24, they have done the same thing around Logansport, where you have right in, right out. Basically, you'll have no crossing of 30 at that point. They will shut down that intersection and you will have to travel to a different intersection. And that's just in my opinion. That is most cost effective per the state because interchanges cost a lot of money. Yes, there have been a lot of accidents on there. I've spent 30 plus years on the fire department, actually on the other side of the county, but I've always heard the runs going to that side of the county, whether it be 800 East or 300 East. And I am sorry, you just cannot fix stupid or human nature. So people are going to run stoplights if they want to run stoplights. The only way to affect them that way is for them to be caught. And there's not enough law enforcement to sit at that intersection all day long, 24/7. But as in a business model, I can see how it makes perfect sense. You have a gas station on one side of the highway, you have a gas station on the other side of the highway. They propose to go right in, right out. You have traffic, a gas station on one side for traffic to stop at. You have traffic on the other side. Loves. I also frequent there. I go through Beaver Dam, which is halfway through Ohio, going over to Mansfield, and usually stop there because it's just a halfway point on our travels. But you know, it's just sort of like CVS and Walgreens. You see them right across the street from each other. So, and that's where it's part of the business plan. So, and the other thing I'll say is, you know, we've sort of heard for years because when the truck stop was up here, S&L truck stop, you know, there was always a place to go to get fuel or gas. Now it's a little bit rougher. But I know that a lot of the pumps are computerized. They are open 24/7. But if you have a problem, there's nobody to ask. So, but those are my comments on it. So, like I said, I've been following this since 2016. You know, it's still several years out, and that on what they decide. A different administration could bring in a different idea.
I guess I do have a couple comments on this because I actually served on the committee for Whitley County on the NDOT, and when this whole thing started, they wanted to redo 30 from Fort Wayne to Valparaiso, and I think it was, you know, they put this on the books. They were going to do this. So many counties came back and complained. They came to all the counties. Each county submitted their own plans. Well, after we'd worked on it for probably, I don't know, 2 years, would you say, Nathan?
Longer than that.
3 years, couple of years.
Yeah.
Whitley County was the first to submit the plans, and NDOT just scrapped it after we worked on it, threw it away, started over, and at that point I stepped back because I was irritated with working with them. But that's kind of where they're at. So they've changed all the plans from beginning to end. We're still up in the air on it, I guess. So even though we're saying, you know, they're going to remove the stoplights, they may change it. I don't know that that's going to happen. They just keep changing all the plans. So right or wrong, I feel like they're probably still going to have a stoplight there, and it will never truly be limited access with all the stoplights removed. Is just my opinion of it.
So you've already done all your traffic studies.
We have completed traffic studies, yes, sir, and we have submitted those to NDOT.
You don't have approval yet.
We do not have approvals. There was a little bit of a disconnect of where North Road and South Road how they was going to flow and what needed to happen. So NDOT's reviewing that right now. I do know that. I forgot to say I pulled my site real fast. I know we're putting in a turn lane on US 30 to help with getting into our site once you get on US 30. I think there's going to be another left turn lane when you're facing north. There'll be a left. Oh yeah, there it is. You can see over on the right hand side of the screen. If I may, can I go to the screen?
That's fine.
So this will be widened in here. I'm sorry, nobody can see. This will be widened through here. There'll be a right turn lane going in there. That way the cars can peel off and get out of the lane of traffic here. And then the trucks, they would be coming up here, coming in this way. We do that specifically for safety reasons, to keep the cars and the trucks away from each other as much as possible. The man, you mentioned crime earlier. Another way that we watch crime, and I think you said you visit some of our stores. One reason why we do that is so we're open 24 hours, and we know if there's a vehicle back here, there shouldn't be a vehicle back there. So as our employees are out cleaning up trash, walking a lot, doing those sort of things, it's just an easy kind of cue for them to look at if there's a car back there or something nefarious maybe going on, so it's checked out. And then the other thing is safety for young kids and pedestrians, those kind of things. I have young grandkids now, and God forbid one of them got away from me and a diesel truck was coming in, couldn't see them. So that's why we separate that traffic. That's why we're asking for 2 driveways. All that's been shown to DOT. One thing that, like I said, we'd have a new lane here would be improved. And then coming out this way, we'd add a left turn lane in here to help get that traffic flowing through there as well. I don't have the plans for this side for what the required racetrack to do. My engineer has them, but we don't have them overlaid on our plan on this part of it anyway. But that's what I was, my dumbness of it all. I'm not a traffic engineer, but basically what he told me was they were trying to get the north and the south to line up a little better and to make it more free flowing through there instead of having it a little bit offset, to make it a little more safe. So that's the extent of what I know about NDOT right now. And this all came about, I believe last week it was, but that came back to us. But that's a long-winded answer to your question, but we've done traffic counts, we've submitted everything we needed to submit to them.
Thank you.
How many trucks can park there?
Currently, ma'am, I think there's, let's see, 9, 19, so that's roughly 30, 43 roughly.
43 trucks.
Yes, ma'am.
Planning Commission, any other discussion, questions, motions?
I guess I have a question for Nathan. Basically, everything south of 30 is already industrial, correct? We're not rezoning.
Correct.
We're just joining plats.
Correct.
I was just the zoning map. All of this along here is industrial. It's not like we're changing uses of anything.
Yeah, Pages Crossing is zoned industrial. This site's industrial. To the south of Business 30 is industrial. As you go farther away, you have general commercial. I believe City Ford is general commercial, but
yeah,
immediate vicinity is already zoned industrial.
So whether this is approved or not, they could still build it because we're just combining plats and not rezoning. Correct?
The nature of the history of the land, the fact that it's not platted makes it unbuildable because there had been previous splits. That's why it's a requirement to do the platting, to make it a buildable lot.
Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up.
I would like to make a motion to approve with the conditions stated by staff.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Stacy, was that you that seconded?
Yeah. May we go to a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Joe Wolf,
Aye.
Kim Kurtzessler,
Aye.
Mark Johnson,
Aye.
Tim Longaball,
Aye.
Jack Green, Dane Drew,
Aye.
Stacy Petrovas,
Aye.
Travis Baker,
Aye.
and Brent Emery.
Aye. All right, thank you. Motion carries. Feel free to take off or stay for the rest of the meeting. Moving on to the second item this evening, 26W Subdivision 2, Adam Ertel, a one-lot subdivision being proposed called Ertel Subdivision. It's at East Blair Road. And I will ask Nathan for his staff report on this one, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, staff report on this one. It is a replat combining two lots, lots 4 and 5 of the South Fork subdivision, which was recorded in 1997, located on East Bear Road. Doesn't yet have an address. What is being proposed, as I mentioned, is to consolidate lots 4 and 5 into a single lot. There is no right-of-way being dedicated with this replat because it was previously dedicated with the South Fork subdivision. It's zoned LR, so no rezoning is required. Overall acreage is 1.17, all of which goes into the new single lot. You can see the other zoning requirements are met there on the table. Aerial view for reference, highlighted in blue, are the two current lots that comprise the subject area, and you can see Bair Road there running along the lake northwest to southeast. Closer view, the property is improved with a storage building currently, and the petitioner can give you more details on exactly what their long-term plans are. For reference, highlighted in red are the two lots from the South Fork subdivision, 4 and 5. You'll note that there are, as I explained in the last case, easements that window pane each lot. By replatting this and removing that intervening lot line, they also will be removing that set of easements down the middle here. Also of note, lot 1 and I believe 2 were replatted to create a third lot a couple years ago, if you may recall that. The proposed plat and the proposed plat overlaid on the aerial here, and again, it's just the perimeter of those two lots. It's pretty simple. Being simple, staff just has one recommended condition, and this is on sewer, so no need to worry about septics. So just the standard recommended condition for minor plats to delegate plat approval to staff, secondary plat approval to staff. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Nathan. This time we'll make the podium available to the petitioner or representative and tell the planning commission about the project. Just remember to please state your name and address.
My name is Adam Ertel. I reside at 2091 East Bair Road, across the street from that. And so we're seeking to combine the two properties that I own there and and then remove the middle utility easement to make them one buildable lot. That's what we're looking for. Happy to answer any questions.
Don't see anybody jumping up to answer any questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I will open the podium up to public comment on this petition, for or against. Anyone from the public? Podium is yours. See no one, I will close public comment. Turn the floor over to the planning commission, please.
I'll move to approve 26W subdivision 2 with the staff criteria.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? May we go to a roll call vote, please, Brent?
Yes, sir. Travis Baker.
Aye.
Stacy Petrovas.
Aye.
Dane Drew.
Aye.
Jack Green. Tim Longabaugh.
Aye.
Mark Johnson.
Aye.
Tim Kurtzessler.
Aye.
Joe Wolf.
Aye.
And Brent Emery.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on, we have no other business, but I think we should go ahead and look over those minutes from last month that we now have hard copies for. Everybody wants to take a brief moment to review those.
They're not very long.
We thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll move to approve the January 21st, 2026 minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. May we go to a roll call vote, please?
Travis Baker.
Aye.
Stacy Petrovas.
Aye.
Dane Drew.
Aye.
Jack Green. Tim Longabaugh.
Aye.
Mark Johnson.
Aye.
Tim Kurtzessler.
Aye.
Joe Wolf.
Aye.
And Brent Emery.
Aye. Minutes pass. We have no other business. Do we have any reports from staff tonight?
Just a quick couple things. There will be a March meeting. We do have items already filed, so just heads up, make sure that's on your calendar. I won't be here. Brian will be running things from the staff side. I've got a family conflict, but unless things change, it should be, in my opinion, a fairly easy night for you. An update from last month on House Bill 1001. That's the one that would change a lot of the residential permitted uses and so on. That has been amended somewhat, but it's still very much, a lot of the problematic language is still in there. It passed out of committee at a Senate committee this afternoon, actually this evening, with a vote of 6-5. The last guy, it was tied 5-5. He basically said, I'm only voting this forward to the whole Senate for debate purposes only. So it's a very contested bill. There were probably 3-1 who spoke against it for various reasons. So we'll continue to watch how that goes forward, because if that does pass, that will change a lot of what we do. Let me rephrase that. That will change what we do with the county zoning. To what extent, we'll see exactly. But right now, it's still moving forward. Annual reports, the department annual reports, the joint advisory board meeting is tomorrow afternoon. So if you guys have a desire for a hard copy of the annual report, let me know and I'll print those once they're approved by the board. Otherwise, I'll email you all a PDF. So Kim, you'll be getting a hard copy for sure, being on the board. But if anybody else wants one, let me know as well. So those were the updates from me. Anything from you two? No. So that's what I had.
Alrighty, thank you, Nathan. If there's nothing else, we stand adjourned.